Have you guys ever played the game Two Truths and One Lie, and you're supposed to guess what the lie is, and that helps you to get to know someone better? Today, I'm going to give you guys 10 things that you probably didn't know about me, and they're all going to be true. Stay tuned. Hey there, Kelly here, and welcome to another fabulous slice of my world. So I decided, I've been doing a lot of the videos where I'm sharing different point of view from the lupus perspective, but I haven't really done what I feel like is a truly fun video in a while. Haven't taken you guys out onto the fabulous streets of Merida, and I haven't really done a lot of things. But today, I'm going to share with you guys 10 things about me that I'm sure you probably don't care, but it's fun for me, so I'm gonna share it. Okay, so number one, I am super duper nice. I really am. But people think I'm mean because I'm very frank and I'm very truthful, if you will. And I don't really do a lot of beating around the bush or sugarcoating. So I tend to tell you exactly what I think, what I feel, without any compromise in that. And some people don't quite know how to take my directness, and they take it as me being mean. But I really am very nice. I will, do everything I can to help you, to encourage you, to build you up. And I typically tell people I'm nice until I'm not. And so the other side of that is, if I've done everything I can to encourage you and build you up, and you show me in an act of betrayal that you're not worth it, I am not nice. So we'll leave it at that. The number two thing that you guys, I'm sure, didn't know about me, I have played a trumpet at Chicago Symphony Orchestra Hall twice in my life. So here's the thing I will say, kudos to teachers, because when I was in high school, I went to the only all-girl high school, public high school in the city of Chicago, and I had this a wonderful music teacher, Mrs. Kenny. And I think that Mrs. Kenny's class was the only class that I showed up on time for, y'all. Didn't act a fool, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, we gonna keep it real. So I took up the trumpet. Well, I wanted to join the all-city band, and unfortunately my teacher, Mrs. Kenny, really wasn't that caliber of instructor, if you will. So I went down, I auditioned, and they were like, But there was another teacher there, because the band is run by teachers from all over the city, that took an interest in me for some reason and helped me to get to where I could be accepted into the band. And I really had to work hard. And every year at the end of the year, the concert that the all-city band would do was at Chicago, Chicago Symphony Hall. And so I did this for my junior and my senior year in high school. So yes, I am an accomplished musician. The number three thing that you guys, I'm sure, don't know about me, in spite of my sleek look, I actually spent 5 years as a professional hairstylist and nail tech. When I got out of the military, that was what I did for a living. I went to beauty school. I got a license at first to do nails, and I was wearing them fingernails way out here. I was putting little holes in them and little diamonds and just all kinds of things. When really starting to wear nails was becoming very popular. So I actually did pretty good in that business before it became something that has just kind of nobody was using drills and all of that. We were purists. We were filing, doing acrylics and all this thing. And after a while, I realized, I'm looking at the girls that are doing hair, and I was like, I could do that. So I went back to school and learned how to do hair, and I did hair and nails for 5 years after I got out of the military. So the next thing that you all may not know about me, even though I lived for 20 years in Florida, I can't swim. But the thing that you guys, I'm sure, do know about me, if you've been here before, is that I want you to share this out. I want you to hit that like button. And if you haven't been here, or you have and you haven't just hit the subscribe button, I want you to do that too. So now, I cannot swim, but I am not a person, again, if you've been here before, you know, I don't really let fear rule my world. So I have been kayaking, canoeing, paddle boarding, jet skis, the motor boats, like all of that. And ironically enough, I taught my kids how to swim. They say those that can't do, teach, right? So I, obviously, because my children were growing up in Florida, there's a ton of pools, there's always opportunities to go to the beach. I wanted to make sure for their safety that they knew how to swim. So I never exhibited any fear when I would take them to the pool, and I taught them how to swim, and they thought I could swim until after they could swim. And they was like, Mom, why don't you come swimming with us? And I was like, can't swim. So that's kind of cool. And my daughter was actually for a little while on an actual swim team. So I feel pretty proud of that accomplishment as well. The next thing, I think some of you, if you're on my Facebook, you may already know this, but many of you on YouTube, I'm sure, maybe don't. But I am a former aircraft mechanic. And as prissy as I am, it's kind of, when people hear that, when we play that game of two truths and a lie, and I include this, they always think that's the lie. But that's what I did in the military. So many of you know that I am a Desert Storm veteran, and my job in the military was fixing airplanes. So I was launching them and bringing them back, and for a long time, I could not fly commercially and enjoy it because I was always watching the wings and making sure that the air brakes were working and all these things. And finally I was like, it's not your job. Like, relax, woosah. So the next thing that I could tell you guys is I am a true overachiever. Every job that I've ever had, I've always excelled. I've always been promoted to high positions. I've always ended up earning a lot more than people anticipated. And because of part of what I said to you, number one, that I'm very direct and that I don't really sugarcoat, and I don't really distinguish between the janitor and the president of the company. They're all people to me. They just get paid at different levels to do different jobs. So once I started moving up the ranks, people started feeling threatened, and I've been fired a few times. So, and not because of my job performance. It's never really been about my job performance. It's usually because someone feels threatened, and when they bring it to me, I'm pretty much like, do your job and you won't have to feel threatened. And then there were some cases where I'm like, I don't even want your job. So, so I've been, and in one case, I actually told my manager that she didn't have to do her job, that I was going to handle this situation my damn self. It took her a year to find a good reason to fire me. The next thing that you guys, I don't know, may or may not know. So I've mentioned a few times that I am a former fashion blogger, and I have always been fashionable and unique on a budget. I tell people I will pinch a penny until Abraham Lincoln is screaming for mercy. When I was a kid, we grew up poor. My mother would take us to thrift shops, and I had to make it work. I felt Tim Gunn, I had to make it work, you know, and I did. I, at first, was really embarrassed because for whatever reason, I thought that people would know that I was buying someone else's clothes. You know, but my mom was like, if they see you in the thrift store, it's probably because they're in the thrift store. So you could tease them just like they could tease you. So that's kind of how my fashion savvy, if you will, started. And I was always very, very prissy. I remember when I was a teenager, when you had to wear the little rollers in your hair to curl your hair, and my mother was like, take the garbage out. And it was dark outside. And in Chicago, you don't put the trash on the front of the house. You take it to the alley behind the house. I would take all of the rollers out of my hair, comb my hair. And my mother was like, "You're going to take the trash." I'm like, "You don't ever know who you're going to meet." I couldn't look crazy even going to take out the garbage, y'all. So I have been prissy and high maintenance to a certain degree all of my life. But I never expected anybody else to deal with my high maintenance. I always took care of that part myself. So the next thing that you may or may not know about me, especially if you follow me on Facebook, is I am major league girl power. And I don't believe in competition. I've never believed in competition, much to the chagrin of some of the people, some of the builders that I work for that will try to pit me against other sales agents. I'm like, she doesn't pay my bills and I don't pay her bills. We each, I'm here to do what I'm here to do and she's here to do what she's here to do. And I'm not going to stress what she's doing because I'm busy doing what I'm doing. And so that was a point of contention in a lot of cases, that I don't believe in competition. In fact, if I see you struggling, even if we're in the same area, in the same field, if I see you struggling, I'm going to try to help you find solutions to resolve that issue so that you could be better if I can help you. So I am girl power all day long. I don't badmouth, the women. And there was a time, I won't sit back and act like I've always been, this person that wouldn't say bad things about other women. But I realized that what comes out of your mouth is a reflection on you. So when you're sitting around, talking about what somebody is wearing, what they're eating, what their makeup looks like, whatever, that really is more of a reflection of your insecurities than it has to do with them. So at one point, what I started doing was realizing that the energy and effort that I was putting in to talk bad about somebody, I could put that same energy and effort into saying something good about them. And what I would do is, if I saw someone and the first thought was something negative, I would continue to look at them and figure out something that I really liked about them, and then I would tell them, "I really like your shirt. Oh my gosh, that color on you really makes your skin pop," or whatever it was. I would give them a genuine compliment. And I don't believe in shaming people for what they look like, what they wear, how they live their lives, because it's really not my business. So I am, again, major girl power. If I have something that I feel like you and I just don't mesh, I'll speak my piece and then I move on. I'm like, I want you to be great, but be great over there. The next thing that I'm sure that you guys did not know about me, and people in real life have said to me, "Well, you don't mind confrontation." I do not. I absolutely abhor confrontation. However, I really don't like for things to fester. I don't like for them to grow, because what starts off like this can end up like this if you don't address it. So it's better to be uncomfortable at the beginning and address an issue than it is to wait for it to become filled with resentment and animosity and anger, because then it's really going to be a true confrontation. So because I am the person that will come to someone and say, "Listen, you said you did or whatever, and you rubbed me the wrong way," people have gathered from that I like confrontation, that I'm okay with confrontation. I'm not okay with confrontation. I would really rather we handle things in an amicable way. And so I come early and I address it, because it's like the elephant in the room, so to speak. And I just take care of it right then and there, and then we can hopefully move on and know where we each stand after that, instead of just talking about it behind your back and feeling resentment and letting it grow, and then one day just boom, exploding all over you. So I do not like confrontation. The last thing that you guys may not know about me is I don't suffer bullies very well. I am that person that when I was a kid, I was bullied. In fact, this is how I came into my fashion savvy. I would get teased because my clothes would be too small, They wouldn't be the best clothes. They definitely weren't name brand. So the haves kind of always teased me. So I was like, well, if they're gonna tease me, I'm just gonna do what I wanna do. And I started, doing different things with my clothes, wearing odd colors, mixing and matching different patterns, cutting lines into my hair before that was a thing to do, and all of these different things, and just trying stuff out. And then after a while, I would start doing something and be like, oh, I dig this. And then they would start doing it. I'm like, why you biting my style? A minute ago, you was trying to tease me about it. So again, people think I like confrontation, but I don't. But I'm gonna bring it to you. I will let you know that you biting my style. So I am a person that doesn't suffer bullies. If you try to bully me, I usually will lunge rather than retreat. I shared, and I'll put a link up here for the video where I talked about my hair story. And when I cut my hair off, I had a little bit of a tough time, and it was a bully that liberated me. And so if you want to see that video again, I'll put that up here, and you can go check out my lack of hair story. So let's see, I think, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So I would love to know something about you. Share in the comments before. Give me a tidbit about you that most people may not know about you, that you're like, man, I haven't thought about that in years. Because I often forget that I played the trumpet. When I think about my musical ability, I'm like, wait a minute. You played a trumpet for 4 years, but 2 of those, you really accomplished something really cool. So anyway, the other thing I want to accomplish that is really cool is getting you as a subscriber if you haven't done that already. So please make sure you go ahead and do that. That's how you support the channel, and give it a thumbs up. Share it if you enjoyed it and if you found it entertaining. And if not, then next go around maybe it'll be something useful. But I just wanted to have a little fun. I hope that you did too. Have a good one, guys.